Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is January the 30th, 2019. Almost 1/12 of the year has gone by. I got that from Brian, UK Bitcoin Master. Check out his channel. He's got a new video out there. Check out this honey badger. Strong hand, long-term thinking. World reserve crypto. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. Offended by selling. Unconfiscatable. Holder of last resort. Yes. Are your hands getting stronger just by me saying all those wacky, wild Adam Meister sayings? Okay. Check out all the links below. Yes, yesterday was my 12. I now have 1,201 shows on disruptmeister.com. I've done a lot of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin related shows. So check that out. Check out TechBalt, TECHBALT on Twitter. I've been retweeting. I've been tweeting stuff. People have been DMing me. I got a lot of stuff to catch up on. Come on, people. Now remember, sometimes it's nice and early for you. It's late here. Oh, I'm in Tel Aviv, baby. You got to love it. All right, dudes. I hope you're all having an elite day wherever you are. It was like 45 degrees warmer here in Tel Aviv than it was in Baltimore today. Pound that like button. Yes, part of being your own boss and valuing your wealth in Bitcoin is that you avoid the winter. Oh, and I try to avoid that winter as much as possible. Value your wealth in warmth and Bitcoin, but mostly Bitcoin, which allows you to appreciate warm weather places. Now, something I run into a lot when I'm watching all sorts of different videos, because, you know, Google keeps a good track of you. They know what you like. They serve up ads that they think you're going to click on. So I get, well, things that sort of deal with cryptocurrency, I guess. Anyway, there's this one ad. What is this for? For Finny, the blockchain phone. I mean, I don't even know what this thing is, okay? But these ads keep popping up in the middle of videos. Now, first of all, notice how on my channel, I do not put ads in the middle of my videos. You know, the YouTube, sometimes you'll be watching a video, it's this ad will pop up. You know, interrupt everything. You have to like click on it to get rid of it. And they're selling you some scam. You know, look at my big fancy cars, buy my newsletter. I can't even believe this stuff that YouTube. Please, I mean, I know there are ads before the show starts and after the show ends, but I don't want to. I do never. That's one thing you can get on this channel. I do not interrupt my shows with ads, with the YouTube ads. You know, people do it. Some people put like 5 ads in their darn shows. Gosh darn, it's annoying. You don't, well, hey, personal responsibility is new counterculture. Do what you're going to do. But the reason I'm even mentioning this is that so yeah, those ads can be annoying no matter what they're for. But this new one, this Finny blockchain phone, whatever the heck it is, and a blockchain phone seems so ridiculous. There are these ads with these good-looking women, and they start to talk about cryptocurrency. They talk about IOTA and Ripple. The Ripple one is absolutely brutal. But I mean, the woman she's a pretty woman. I mean, I'm sure this tricks a lot of people into being interested in this kind of, if you value your wealth in women. But so I link to this stuff below. Now, Adam, why are you bringing up sketchy videos with hot women in them that you're watching, that are being served up to you? It shows the progress of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, okay? Back in 2016, if all of a sudden an ad like these, they're very professionally made ads, would have popped up, it would have just shocked anything out of you. So we've come a long way. Now you've got these well-produced ads with hot women talking about Ripple and IOTA, and I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's almost mainstream. Now, it isn't mainstream. This stuff is only being served up to me because they know I'm in the crypto. But there's some progress here. This isn't some Bitcoin isn't some nerdy project anymore. Nothing wrong with being a nerd or whatever, but this is something that a lot of people are trying to get a piece of, and they're trying to have some mainstream appeal. Now, again, do you need a blockchain phone? I seriously doubt it. And again, I'm not. I linked to this. It's below. I'm not encouraging you to buy that product at all. Again, buy Bitcoin, but it's fun to watch. It's kind of funny, and you can see how these things can get on one's nerves, especially the Ripple one. My lord. But it does show some progress in the cryptocurrency world. You can call it, you know, when you have ads like that, it might be annoying. It might be, but it shows that, hey, it's a lot of people are jumping into this thing. So pound that like button, people. Honey Badger, it's Bitcoin. So I wanted to talk about, on Saturday's show, you're used to my Beyond Bitcoin show. Well, this Saturday, we got a special Beyond Bitcoin show. And by the way, the title of this video, I made up this title like an hour before I made the show. And all of a sudden I got all these new subjects to talk about, which I will talk about in due time here. Be patient. But it just shows you, like, God, news is always coming in. And I didn't mind that Adam doesn't care about what his titles say at all, because I could have changed my title, but I was like, what the heck? I don't care. What's mentioned in the title is talked about here, including this, that I have a special guest coming on Saturday to talk about a new crypto dividend. Now, you probably remember back in the day when I came up with the crypto dividend term, and all that is, you know, you hold Bitcoin and you get by either it being airdropped to you or being forked from Bitcoin, you get a new coin, which you can then sell for Bitcoin. It encourages people to control their own private key, to hold their Bitcoin, to get these altcoins through the airdrop or fork process, to get these crypto dividends. They're one-time dividend payments, basically. That's, you know, when you own a stock, you get dividends every quarter, every year, every whatever. Well, when you own a Bitcoin, you get them pretty randomly because of other companies splitting off from Bitcoin. Okay. Now, again, I debuted crypto. I was the first person ever to talk about B Gold back in the day, the first friendly fork of Bitcoin. Now there's something new out there, and when I was told of this idea of this crypto dividend, which will be talked about again, 3 p.m., 1 p.m. Saturday Eastern time. It's 3 p.m. Saturday Eastern time. It's 1 p.m. Mountain time. Why would I be concerned about Mountain time? Well, maybe you can guess who's going to be on the show. But anyway, there's a little hint for everyone. But so yeah, 3 p.m. on Saturday on Beyond Bitcoin show, we'll be talking about a crypto dividend. And I have some questions about it. Now, when the person came to me about this crypto dividend, they said, hey, Adam, I got this idea. Should I run with it? This person has been on my show before. And I was like, dude, that is an awesome crypto dividend idea. People are going to like it. It seems like something that it would make the news. So I will leave it at that for now. But it's funny. So once that dude told me about it, I thought it was such a good idea. I told another dude about it. And then once there were two dudes behind it, one of them asked me, hey, we need another dude to do some graphics for us. And I said, well, I know a dude that does that. So part of the reason I'm telling all this story is because 3 of the people involved with this project have been on my show before, A, but B, be in motion, people. People who network with me, I network when I see something that I think they could be good at, I send it their way, okay? And I think a few of you, have met, and all 3 of these people I've met in person also, to tell you the truth. So, I mean, you're only going to see who one of the guys is on, and it doesn't, the other 2 one of them matters. The other one, the one doing the graphics, it doesn't matter. He'll never come on for that. I don't think, he can come on if he wants to. But anyway, again, I'm just saying, be in motion. And again, this is a crypto dividend. It's an airdrop one. And, we've thought in the past, will the airdrop ones be more popular than the fork ones? It's something that you sign up for voluntarily. Hey, you don't have to do it. You don't have to get the free crypto dividend. I like getting free things that are safe that I can turn into Bitcoin. And this one definitely, I think, will encourage people to hold a little harder and could make the news. So again, clearly I've spent a lot of time alluding to it vaguely on this show today. So yeah, if you're expecting me to talk about politics and whatever I usually talk about on the Saturday Beyond Bitcoin show, well, this is going to be beyond the Beyond Bitcoin show. We're going to be someone's going to be talking about I guess, how to sign up for this crypto dividend and just, what it is. Because I hope the sign up process is easy, man, and it's smooth, and like in March or April that we can get it and they'll airdrop it to us, and then they'll be on the exchange and we get some Bitcoin for it. It'll be great. Well, who knows who that guest will be? Maybe he will even make it start to publicize it himself. But you heard it here first. Just like B Gold debuted back here a long time ago, I broke the B Gold story. I like to break stories that I think are interesting. And again, it will encourage people to hold their Bitcoin so they can get this, sign up for this airdrop. And that's what I'm all about, holding your Bitcoin. That is all I'm about. I'm about valuing your wealth in Bitcoin. And if someone's going to give me some free altcoins and I can get my Bitcoin because of it, then that's awesome. And there's one other very interesting aspect to this, but I'll let that be part of the show. I'll discuss that on Saturday. All right, I'm just seeing if I have a strong hand. Hold that Bitcoin. On that like button. Okay, moving on. Supreme Court of Venezuela just froze all of Juan Guaido's bank accounts, but keep in mind he's knowledgeable about Bitcoin. A clear example on how the use cases for crypto thrive in totalitarian context. Yeah, so Juan Guaido, of course he can have all his assets frozen. The Supreme Court of Venezuela can decide to freeze his bank accounts, of course. Now, if Juan Guaido if he was just talking the Bitcoin talk, then that's kind of unfortunate. If he was walking the Bitcoin walk back when he was talking the Bitcoin walk, then he's in great shape. But yeah, this proves, like, even if you're a high up politician, well, it shows when you're part of the opposition in a totalitarian regime, they can take away your bank account, but they can't take away your Bitcoin. Juan Guaido, I hope you have some Bitcoin. All right, here we go. This is Hamas seeks funding in Bitcoin terrorist group. Okay, Hamas seeks funding in Bitcoin. Terrorist group which rules Gaza calls on supporters to send it funds in popular virtual currency. And then in this article, it says, Bitcoin has faced criticism in the past over underground websites where people have used the currency to buy drugs and guns. And then it says there was no immediate reply from Bitcoin. Oh my God. That line is hilarious. There was no immediate. The people writing this article, I mean, they're a little clueless there where they tried to get in touch with Bitcoin. I mean, if this was a Ripple story, you could get in touch with, you could get a reply from Ripple, but no, you can't. But the reason for bringing this up is, okay, this story will get twisted around to vilify Bitcoin. Okay. No doubt about it. This doesn't, people will use this to badmouth Bitcoin. A terrorist organization is asking for Bitcoin, and you can go a lot of different directions with this. But for me, this just shows you the strength of Bitcoin, that your worst enemies, though, can get Bitcoin, can ask for Bitcoin. They can't be stopped. You can't stop them, but your worst enemies can't stop you from getting the same Bitcoin. Okay. So that's it. It's uncensorable. And we're going to hear a lot more things like this in the future about unsavory organizations calling on people to fund them with Bitcoin. And there'll be nothing people could do to stop it. But I mean, on the other side of the spectrum, those unsavory organizations can't stop people from sending you Bitcoin. So again, it doesn't sound good. It's going to be used. It's going to be, people are going to hit Bitcoin with this. It'll take a PR hit, of course. But Bitcoin just becomes stronger and stronger. So don't let this weaken your hand. Just look on the positive side of things. That, again, there are going to be unsavory organizations that are going to call upon Bitcoin, but that Bitcoin can't be stopped from being sent to these unsavory organizations is a strength of Bitcoin, and it's for you. It just shows you how unconfiscatable your own Bitcoin is, and that you can send your Bitcoin to wherever you'd like to send it. All right. If you control your private key. There was no immediate reply from Bitcoin. Pound that like button for not exactly understanding Bitcoin. What's this here? Fidelity is said, this is a tweet. Again, everything is linked to below. Again, and keep your Bitcoin on that Trezor. That's a good idea, or whatever. Any storage device that is safe. There are a lot of storage devices out there. So Fidelity is said to, and get T-shirts linked to below. Support the show. There's all sorts of ways to support the show below. And I'm going to mention something else about supporting. Okay, so Fidelity is said to plan March launch of Bitcoin custody service. This news actually came out when I was about to go on live yesterday, but it wasn't confirmed. So I've waited 24 hours. And now a lot of you have obviously heard about this. Fidelity has said to plan March launch of Bitcoin custody service. All right, I'll believe it when I see it. Fidelity has been talking about this for a while. Now they've said a month, March. Again, we've been through this before. Don't be surprised if it's May, okay? Again, once it launches, I think that'll be great. That'll just be great. Right now, it's just they're talking the talk, and they've been talking the talk for a while. And it's great that they have interest in doing this. I will believe it when I see it. And when it does happen, hey, man, a lot of golden holder types will be like, well, now Fidelity, I've done a lot of work with Fidelity in the past. They'll be able to hold this new asset for me. Let them control my private key. Ha ha ha. Oh, God. But whatever, we're ahead of these people. We're ahead of them. We already control our own private keys. Okay. So Monsieur Mahmoudov, that's Murad's brother, I believe, said in the 90s, people couldn't imagine that the internet would replace newspapers, TV, phone calls, shops, and many other things. That is true. Today, people can't imagine Bitcoin becoming mass adopted money. Bitcoin will do to money what the internet did to information, and money is a way bigger market. Dude, I like your kind of thinking, dude. You're a positive man. Long-term, that is some true long-term thinking there. And it is very true that in the 90s, people would never say that the internet would replace newspapers, TV, phone calls, all of it, shops, and many other things. And it's amazing we're living through this time where the internet has really replaced all of those things. I do not have a TV. I do not have a phone. I use the internet to make phone calls. I don't go to shops. I order things online. I don't read newspapers. I read them online. I read news. It's just amazing. So what is Bitcoin going to do? What is Bitcoin going to do? He says that it has even bigger potential for Bitcoin. So, hey, if Bitcoin even in 10 years, can do 10% of what was just said, what the internet did, it's well on its way to greatness. All right. This is from the rabbi at the Chabad in Owings Mills. Dearest Adam, as per your advice, Chabad Owings Mills is now accepting cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. And he sends a link to, the Chabad Owings Mills page where you can click on a link and it sends you to where you can send them Bitcoin. You can send them Bitcoin now. So I am glad. You guys see, I have been in motion. I convinced my rabbi to accept a Bitcoin. So it is linked to below. If you want to send my rabbi some Bitcoin, that would be great. The Chabad Owings Mills is a charity I have given to, and my father gave to. By the way, I think everyone remember. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. It's all a little blurry. The last check my father wrote in his life was on November the 18th of 2018, and it was to Chabad of Owings Mills as charity to them. And then he died on the 20th, and then on the 21st, after I had called my rabbi to say, my father has passed away, can you do the service? After I got off the phone with him, he checked the mail, and there was a check from my father in the mail. So it was quite amazing. So I point that out there that obviously my rabbi listens to, I take some spiritual advice from here. My family has gotten a lot of spiritual advice from him, and my father obviously supported his cause. And I gave him some financial stuff. So I hope the Chabad rabbi in Owings Mills, Rabbi K, I hope this does you well and people send you Bitcoin and everyone. There's a little personal story that goes with it. And also that was the last check my father wrote so the last thing my father did financially in his life was to give to charity, which is a good sign. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. It will, again, this is, I'm not saying everybody give the charity. Give the charity if you want to give the charity and everything. And my father wanted to give the charity. That was the last thing. Last thing in his checkbook. Sure enough, and the check arrived when we were planning his funeral, sadly enough. But all right, continuing on here. Let's talk about some first world problems here. This is from Bitcoin.com, and it says, study finds 3/4 of attendees at crypto events are male. Wow. One cryptocurrency conference recently featured 84 men on stage and 3 women. That has to change. That was a quote from that article. That has to change? I mean, you're making it seem like again, this is a first world problem. There are plenty of women who watch this show. There are women that have been on this show before. I'm not going to force women to get into Bitcoin. I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to, I mean, isn't it an accomplishment to be, let's have a conference in San Francisco and get some well-off females in the tech industry to make a presentation and get more tech industry ladies to attend and to force this upon them? Is that an accomplishment, or is it an accomplishment to get Bitcoin into the third world, into the hands of families that are run by single mothers? I mean, we're talking about a need versus a want here. Okay, let's worry about, and you don't have to worry about it, but let's deal with getting Bitcoin to people who need it instead of worrying about first world problems like virtue signaling, like who is talking about Bitcoin. Is it a man that's talking about it, or is it a woman talking about it? I mean, this is, again, it's such a first world problem. This is from Bitcoin.com, which again is the Pravda of Bcash. Interesting, they did a story on this. Yeah, I mean, again, it's like a $1,000 event in San Francisco. Let's get more women speaking at them. I mean, again, or $500, whatever it is. This is first world problem. This is something that I think it's mostly virtue signaling here. But I'm here to cut to the chase. People are going to get into this who are going to get into this. And I think in the United States of America, if you're remotely involved with tech, you've heard about Bitcoin already. If you're a man or if you're a woman, you can opt into it if you want to. There's nothing holding you back. There are no obstacles. Now, if you're in the third world, there can be some obstacles. And so that's where maybe if you want to be a do-gooder, that's where you should be focused on. It's like, go to some small out of the way dirt road town in the middle of Africa and tell all the ladies there about it. And I think it'll make a much bigger difference to teach. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't grasp savings yet in the third world. Imagine if you taught some people in the third developing world, whatever you want to call it, about just hold on to this Bitcoin. This could get you out of poverty just by learning what savings is. I mean, there's something big right there. There's something that's not a first world problem. That is a real problem. So yeah, we're in this paradigm again in the USA. We don't need Bitcoin. We don't need Bitcoin, and we don't need to go to Bitcoin conferences. No one needs to go to Bitcoin conferences. No one needs to present at a Bitcoin conference. But in the developing world, whether it be Venezuela, Zimbabwe, they need Bitcoin. There you go. Need versus wants. Virtue signaling versus like starving. All right. Or should I say virtue signaling versus getting out of poverty, getting people out of poverty. Let's not talk about starving, getting people out of poverty. Let's see here. Whale Panda says, if you don't own any Bitcoin yet at this point, you're doing it wrong. It's smarter to scale in rather than try to catch the bottom. What are the odds of you catching the exact bottom? Yeah, that's a great question, dude. Like all these, now this is a big if you happen to not own any Bitcoin now, and I think most of you who are watching these do own some Bitcoin, but if you don't, for whatever reason, if you sold all your Bitcoin or something like that, don't try to time the bottom. What are the odds of you getting the bottom? What are the odds? If you believe in this long term, then what's the difference if you got in at 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000? I mean, I agree with the sentiment there of the Whale Panda. All right, let's see. Someone just sent something over in the super chat here. Let's see. Guy Bennett. get ready for the next FUD. Not only is Bitcoin misogynistic, but it is also racist if you look at the demographics. Yeah. I mean, of course, if people and Guy Bennett, thank you for the that's €5 or £5 or five something there. Thank you very much, Guy Bennett. I appreciate it. But no, I mean, yeah, demographically, there's a lot of it's mostly guys, and it's probably mostly white people and then Asian people. And, and by the way, Guy Bennett, thank you. You are very far away from home right now. Thank you for watching the show live and sending me that those £5 or whatever, the €5, or is it euro? Yeah, it looks like euro. I don't even know. But yeah, then that'll be, people have already tried to FUD Bitcoin that way. So, I mean, once it gets some more mainstream attention again, yeah, there'll be a New York Times article about that. We need more XYZ into Bitcoin. Some effort. That's not what this is about, dudes. This is about getting people out of poverty and regular people learning what savings is, and people in Venezuela getting their wealth out of a really bad situation. But, most people take the virtue signaling way out, and reporters love that kind of stuff. They think it gets them hits. Emotion does get them hits, but they're all saying the same thing, these reporters that go on the virtue signaling warpath. And that's why so many of them are getting fired. They're all saying the same thing. You can just make a computer algorithm to write some of these stories. I mean, you can train a computer to write a Bitcoin FUD story that'll involve racism and sexism. I think it's so easy. So that's why these reporters need to learn the code. Pound that like button. You can't say that on Twitter, apparently. No, seriously, it's considered an attack if you say to reporters they need to learn the code once they've been fired because they're obsolete. I mean, this happens. Eventually they're going to be no more truck drivers because of driverless trucks, and we know this is going to happen. So you can prepare now, you can learn a new skill, or you can wait and complain when it happens. Reporters, the nature of their business is they should be on top of the news. So more than anyone, they should be prepared to know when they're going to be obsolete. And so they should really, anyway, that Twitter is, banning people or suspending people that say learn to code to reporters is ludicrous. But hey, personal responsibility is new counterculture. Twitter can do what they want to do. If they keep on doing things that the people don't want, then the people will abandon Twitter. So Barry Silbert has a tweet out there. And this is the end of my show, I believe. I think I've covered everything. It's big news from Genesis Capital. Over $1 billion in crypto loans originated to date. $500 million in loans originated in Q4 alone. Launch of US dollar loans secured by crypto assets. Borrow US dollar against your crypto holdings. All right, dudes. So I bring this up not because I'm encouraging you to do anything that involves loans and lending with Bitcoin or even dollars, but that this is going on at such a large scale, large number. I was surprised. And Barry Silbert being involved in some way, I guess I'm not surprised about that. But yeah, man, this, we're focused on Fidelity and all these other financialization aspects of Bitcoin, and you take your eye off that ball for a second and you see, whoa, over there's already all these loans. People are doing crypto loans, which again, I'm not exactly a fan of, but I realize that if Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to become a robust financial mechanism, that they're going to be loans, they're going to be lending, there's going to be banks, there's going to be everything that we've been talking about, custodial services, and just because I don't use them doesn't mean that they're not going to exist. They are going to exist. Again, the bottom line is control your own private key. You won't have to worry about those things, but hey, people in the traditional finance markets love loans, and they love custodial services, and they love stocks and bonds and financialization and derivatives. So it's all going to happen. But it's interesting that this loan stuff is already happening. You can click on that link below and get a better idea of what exactly that is. I didn't even research it that much because, I just get turned off right away when I hear people talking about loans and whatnot. All right, people. I think I didn't skip anything. I'm just scanning over stuff. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Pound that like button. Bang that bell button if you need a reminder when this show goes live. Thanks for everybody that's watching it live or taped. If you're watching it taped, click on those squares so you can watch some of the old videos. This Week in Bitcoin, Beyond Bitcoin Show. Oh, we've got all sorts of guests coming up soon. It should be interesting on Saturday and Fridays. This Week in Bitcoin will be at I guess that'll be at 1 p.m. London time. Still don't know the guest exactly for that one, but it's always a blast. And tomorrow's Thursday. We'll have a usual show here because I do a new show here every single day. I'm Adam Meister, Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.